Okay, so for my investigation, I'm going to be looking into the and investigating if there's any inequalities in grassroots football in New Zealand. So that is the inequalities between men and women, and how women are unfairly treated, the opportunities that they receive, and the chance of development that they get in the game. So I'm looking at the grassroots level and see how this impacts right through to the international stage, where there's quite a bit of controversy around the men and women's teams and how they're treated unfairly or differently. Um, so it's the end of football season. Many people are reflecting. Many clubs, many federations are writing their annual reports, and something like this might make them think that in next year, in 2018, they can go somewhere else with their plans, with their systems that they have set in place. So this is mainly just trying to get people more aware that there is an issue in New Zealand football. Um, I'm initially going to take the idea of how men are more privileged. So that's in the grounds that they get, the quality of referees that they get week in, week out, the kit that's offered to them, the fact that a lot of them don't have to pay fees when they do play, um, and the girls continue to have to at a lot of clubs around Auckland, especially. So the good thing about this is I've got quite a few contacts that I'm able to get in contact with. So these include a couple of first team players in girls football in Auckland who have had these experiences, and I've already had a quick chat to them each about it, but they all agree that there is a bit of a problem. So they're all happy to have a chat with me, just so I can get their understanding, I guess, and their point of view on how this is all going to come together. Because it's mainly about them. I'm not really doing this to push my own agendas. It's for these football players out there. And then I've got a couple of people from New Zealand Football, or one person from New Zealand Football, who's the women's development manager, Holly Nixon. I've had a chat with her, and she's happy to speak. I've also got just a couple of footballers who have fallen out of the game and have had to leave it because they're not being treated fairly, and just to get their side of things. But then also a couple that have excelled in the game and have had the good opportunities, just so you can get a balance there. I will be creating, hopefully, a video for this, just a couple of interviews, maybe some footage of a case study playing, just so we can actually get the feeling that she is actually playing football, and that she's not just some random girl off the street, but she is actually a high quality footballer, so we can verify what she's saying. I do want to get a couple of photos of the stark inequalities that you can see when you turn up to football matches on the weekend, such as, girls not getting the good pitches when there's a guys' game going on in the background, guys having assistant referees rather than just a referee when the girls' game won't even have a referee at all. So these are a couple of things that are really easy to pick out in terms of photos and whatnot. And then just a couple of photos of the girls maybe training away from the club and looking at, these girls shouldn't have to be training away when the men's team is training at the club, sort of thing. So hopefully this will also paint a picture of how the girls are being underprivileged and less opportunities to play on these pitches, and the development again is affected with this. So there's lots of people, I guess, that are going to be interested in this. Just coming to the end of football season as well. Generally every footballer, I would assume, would be interested in it, especially the girls. And there are quite a few girls that play football, just from my early looking at information early on in this investigation. There's quite a few girls that do play football, and especially the parents. The parents are going to be really interested in it to see how their daughters are being treated in comparison to maybe their sons, and to how their little boy is getting a much bigger head start than their little girl. So most parents whose children play football are going to be interested in this, because they're going to see the stark differences between the two genders and hopefully that'll kick them into action to get them to stand up and say something. But mostly girls who play the game, and their voice needs to be heard as well. At the moment, it's not being heard. So this investigation is seeing if there is actually that inequality, because I personally believe there is. But just to see if I can actually say definitely that there is inequalities between men and women in New Zealand football. That's what this is all about, and that's just about raising the awareness around being able to say, you know, raising awareness around the fact that there probably is that inequality. And yeah, I feel as though this is going to be something that most people are going to be interested in, like I say. So big news outlets are going to be interested in it. Something that is able to reach pretty much everyone, because football is played pretty much nationwide. So something like the New Zealand Herald, something like Stuff, those sorts of websites, News Hub might pick it up and publish it to their website. So that's sort of what I'm targeting. I'm not really targeting a specific thing. If I had to target specifics, it would be things such as New Zealand Football Weekly, that sort of magazine, but also the other sporting outlets that you find in New Zealand. So yeah, that's the pitch, and hopefully it all goes well and you guys pick it up. Cheers.